The Money Lady.
Hey guys, thanks for showing up for this video today. Yesterday we talked about starting what we call a blog, even if you are just a beginner. And in today's quick recording, I just want to sort of like just touch base on how you could easily do a niche market research for your blog. It's exciting to start a blog and everything, but before you actually jump into your niche and start building either your email list or maybe creating ads for your Facebook and stuff like that, you need to understand the kind of market research you need to do to sort of like pin down the niche market that you want to go into. Until you do a proper in-depth market research and understand the market that you're going into, knowing the customers you're targeting and how they receive or maybe how they consume the content that you would be publishing, how they receive the message that you're trying to drive home to that targeted audience, is extremely important. All right, as a new blogger, it's extremely important for you to sort of like make sure that you understand the market that you're going into. The best thing that you can do for your business when you're starting your blog is to understand what is it that you're looking to achieve in the targeted market that you're going into. The blog you're going to start, or the blog that you will be building on, and the content that you will be creating, it's not about you, it's about the consumer who is consuming the content that you create. So if you miss out on understanding the way how the customer perceives the message that you're driving and the information that you're sharing, you're only going to make your job a little bit more difficult, because you go out and publish content, produce whether it's videos or blog posts and stuff like that, but it's not going to mean anything to them because you won't be doing any conversion. So at the end of the day, yes, you're there to help them solve the problem, whatever it is that they're going through. But the crucial part is also making sure that the goals that you've set for yourself, they're also being met. And the basics of getting that right is making sure that the market research you do is in parallel with or I should say is in unity with the goals that you've set for yourself as well as for your audience. Throughout the campaigns and my blogging experience, or my blogging years that I've been blogging, I've created a lot of campaigns, I've created blog posts, I've created a lot of content that I share with my audience, mostly, especially people who have subscribed to my email list and stuff like that. It's extremely tailored to their needs. So I've got people who are at the at the beginning level of their blogging journey, and I've got others who are at the middle of their blogging journey. Then another group of people, they are at an advanced level of their blogging journey. These sections of people who are at different levels have got different needs. There are others who are at the point now where their needs are kind of like more more in-depth, and they probably may be requiring specialist set of skills and stuff like that. Sometimes these kind of skills I may not necessarily have them, but I have connections within my network of within my business network. I know other people who are experienced and who have the know-how in helping my community and stuff like that. So from time to time, I do actually bring in people from outside my network to come into my network, like my private Facebook group, where we run a very successful mastermind group. these places are places I think that I bring in, other people who are specialists in areas that I don't have the skills in, to come and provide the value. And this requires me understanding what my audience, because people who are subscribed to my mastermind group, that's my audience. People who relate to the kind of content that I produce, the kind of help and value that I've created and I've been able to produce for them. That's what I'm talking about there. All right. The same thing applies to you guys. If you're starting a blog, obviously, if you don't put in much work in researching and understanding your customers, chances for you to succeed in this business is almost zero. Okay, so like I've said, the strategies that you put in place when you start your blog should be based on the fact that you have a proper understanding of your customers. You know who your ideal customer is, and you also know exactly what they are looking for. So if you are able to actually be able to sort of like understand and put that in place, then you'll be at a position where now you have this ability to help them the way how they expect it, and you are also able to provide more than what they expect, because they normally say meeting a customer's needs and even also going an extra mile. That's what your aim should be, and you can only go an extra mile only if you understand and you know exactly what they are looking for. All right. So like I also mentioned in my previous video, I did mention that there is this perception that when you see somebody doing exactly what you're doing, or somebody who is doing similarly to what you're doing, you look at them and you think they are competition. But the way how I see an online market, or maybe this online business where you go and build a blog, and then on top of your blog you go and build an e-commerce website where you're delivering either a service or a physical product. If there's anybody who is doing something similar to what you want to do or what you're doing, they are not your competition. They are kind of like people that you should actually learn to coexist in the market. And if they're doing something that I think you think they're doing better, it's better to actually look at them and not necessarily go and copy what they're doing, but you should go and look at how they're doing it, and then you should be able to model whatever you want to do or whatever you are doing based on what has already been proven to be working for your audience. Because if both of you are actually targeting the same market, or you're speaking to the same audience, the chances are that there must be a reason why they are more tuned in to your competitors' marketing, messaging, as opposed to your messaging. So making sure that you take kind of like a step back and look at what your competition is doing, and then be able to not copy what they are doing, but kind of like use that as a benchmark, so that you can look into their business and the way how they are conducting whatever they are doing, how they are delivering their messaging. And this sometimes could be even going to your competitors' business and be able to buy in a product from your competition, so that you can actually kind of like go through the whole customer experience pipeline, where you go into their sales funnel, and then you go and check out, and then you are able to understand what sort of emails are they writing to their customers, how are they, what sort of steps are they putting through their checkout and things like that. That's very, very important. So anybody who is doing exactly what you're doing, or exactly what you want to do, they're not your competition. There is plenty of room for anybody to go online and build a business and create a space for themselves. And the other important thing is when you are starting a blog, think about that blog as a sort of like a solution to a problem that you've seen on the market. a mistake I think a lot of people make when they're starting a blog is the fact that they don't look at a blog as sort of like a platform where you are offering a solution, and this is a problem. But when you understand that a blog is sort of like a solution, it's there for you to actually it's a platform where you go and solve your audience's problem. Because if you want to make any kind of money out of your blogging effort and stuff like that, you're gonna have to go and solve problems that people or your audience is having. So if you're not able to do that, you won't be able to achieve that. All right. So like I also said that there are crucial points that you need to look at as your guidelines when you are doing a market research for your blog. The number one thing is looking at whether there's a growing number of people who are actively looking for help in a certain in the market that you're going to go into. And the other thing is you also need to make sure that before you just jump in and start working on that simply because you've seen that the numbers of people looking for problems, solutions to their problems is quite high. The other thing you need to look into is making sure that those people who are looking for help, they are actually more than willing to actually spend money to get help for the problem that they are looking for. All right, so don't just jump into setting up a blog that's going to solve problems because the problem exists, but then when it comes to monetizing that blog or making money out of the solutions that you're providing, is non-existent. You need to make sure that you validate that. So the validation part of market research, market research validation of the ideas and all the other bits and pieces is based on the fact that you want to prove that there is money that can be made by solving those problems. Okay, so probably I've talked about finding problems that you can solve and figuring out to validate whether the problems that people are having, they are more than willing to spend money, and if there are existing growing numbers of people who are in that particular situation. Maybe the question would be, okay, so how do I go about and figuring all this out? The best places that I think I've found to be very useful for me is Amazon. Amazon is a marketplace where people go and buy products, and some people go and buy books and things like that. But also it's a very good tool for you to actually go in and figure out what sort of problems are people spending more money on. And the other place is Facebook. A lot of social media platforms and even forums, they are a very good source of problems that you can go and look into. People who are spending time watching videos on YouTube and things like that, they are also a very good giveaway sign of problems that you can actually go on the market and solve those problems. So those are some of the tools. All right. The other thing that you also need to sort of like take into account when you are doing your market research for your blog launch is the fact that you have to understand and know where your customers, where your customer spends most of their time. Who are they? Is it a woman or is it a man? How old are they? What kind of disposable income do they have? How much do they earn? Okay, where do they spend their time? And there are tools like I think Facebook. Facebook is a good tool that you can also use to sort of like probe and understand what they are doing and how they are spending their time on Facebook and which pages they are liking when they go on Facebook and how they are consuming their content. I will talk much about the way how I do in terms of how I do my targeting and retargeting and things like that. It's a little bit more advanced. I will be covering that when I do videos on the Facebook advertising and things like that, and how you can go about to install a Facebook pixel on your blog as well as on your website when we get to a point where now we are installing these bits and pieces. But the most important thing is to make sure that you understand the most crucial parts that I talked about. That's the number one thing, is to make sure that you check that the market you're going into has got enough people who are consistently looking for help, and the people who are in there, they are not just actively looking for help, but they are also more than happy and willing to spend money. All right, and if there are competitors in the market, use them to kind of like figure out and assess the market, how difficult the market is going to be for you to actually go and make money. Okay, so my business partner Chucks and I, we are dropping a 7-day training course about and doing an in-depth blogging, market research, and things like that. And if you guys would like to receive free communication in terms of the kind of content that we are putting out on this particular subject, there's a link below this video. Make sure you click that link. That link should be able to take you to a page where you can give us your email, and we would be able to send you the resources that we have so that it can help you get started. All right, okay, cheers guys.